Hi again. So making another video. I really appreciate all of the positive words in response to my last video about the wedding. So I have a couple other videos that I wanted to make, so here's another video about the wedding. Last time I kind of just gave you a general information as far as like why we picked what we did and kind of like the look and vibe I was going for and things like that. So this time I wanted to get into the numbers, so that might be a little bit boring, but I don't know, I'm always fascinated and curious to see like what other people spend, especially because weddings tend to be really expensive. I'll kind of give you the numbers as far as what we spent and yeah, and kind of maybe why we spent what we did. So we will get into that. So first off, I just want to kind of give a disclaimer that so to have like, you know, a beautiful special wedding, you don't have to spend a lot of money. Even, you know, what we spend total for our wedding may seem like a lot to you in your situation, or maybe it doesn't. But this is what we paid in our situation, and yeah. So I'm gonna kind of backtrack way before the wedding even started. So to kind of give you like where we were at with everything. By the time we got engaged, it was July 2018, and I had already saved up a little bit of money because I really wanted to go on a Europe trip, which we ended up doing in 2019. And I really wanted to go to Europe, so I had some money saved for that. And plus I'm kind of a cheap person. I really don't like to spend everything that I have. I like to save. So when we set our wedding date as October of 2018, that gave us a year and a half to plan and to continue to save. So I don't remember exactly how much money I had at the time, but I had a little bit saved, not a lot, but a little bit. So at the time I was working part-time at a cell phone company, and I also was working part-time with my Third Generation Nation business that I own. So I was doing that, and I've had really low expenses, especially at that time. No car payment. I got my cell phone service for free through the company I worked for. Our rent was pretty low that we split. Yeah, we were able to save quite a bit because we had low expenses. I was making okay money, and considering how low the expenses, we live in Oklahoma, it's pretty cheap to live here. Yeah, the choices we made are based on our situation. We both have big families. Lisa, I think I mentioned this in the last video, Lisa has a lot of cousins. I have a lot of siblings. So we knew just going through and creating our initial guest list when we at the very first stages of planning the wedding, we knew that we needed to have a decent amount of space to hold everybody. A backyard wedding just wasn't going to work necessarily for what we wanted, or I guess it could have worked, but it just wouldn't have been comfortable, especially considering that all my family's traveling here. So I think I kind of wanted to give them like, you know, a nice event to go to. It's going to be like a vacation for them, and they're spending a lot of money to come out here. So I want to do that. Same with a lot of Luis's family. A lot of his cousins and stuff he's really close with. And, you know, they're traveling out here. So, oh, Charlie wants up here. Here's Charlie. He always wants to be on my lap while I film videos and smell my face. But yeah, so we knew we were going to have a decent amount of family go. You know, I kept like the friend count pretty small. I also was kind of cautious about, I didn't want to get like a lot of disposable stuff. I didn't want fake flowers. So that kind of played a role. I wanted to be a little bit, at least try to be a little bit environmentally friendly, you know? We're not religious, so we knew that we weren't going to have our wedding in a church or anything like that. We're not big drinkers, so I didn't want to have it at a bar. Plus, like, you know, it's all our family. My family is kind of religious, so I don't want to like make them uncomfortable by having it in a bar. It just didn't really make sense. But I mean, those things might make sense for you, you know? And one thing that I would have considered doing is having our wedding in like a rec area at like in the mountains. I'll maybe insert a picture of what that would look like, just because it's covered, and usually you can rent those out for fairly cheap. But there's just so many uncontrollables, and also you need to have more of your like guests kind of take part and do more work. And I didn't want this to be like a big thing where it's a lot of work. Like I tried to minimize the amount of work that I would do, my guests would do, especially on the day of the wedding. So those were things that I kept in mind, So kind of getting into the fun part, the money part, we used the app, the Knot. It's really nice. Maybe I'll try to insert, a video of kind of like what that looks like and the budgeting tool that I used. So I set our budget to $5,000. I think at the time I just knew that was doable versus what we had and what we could save for in that amount of time. So I'm just trying to make it as like reasonable and cheap as possible. So I knew it's like I didn't want to spend nothing because I wanted this to be a special once in a lifetime memorable event, but I also didn't want to like spend what we didn't have or couldn't have. What's nice about the Knot app is it kind of gives you suggested prices for everything. Like say you normally spend 10% of your budget on flowers, then you need to spend 10% of $50 on flowers. So like just kind of like that. So you just kind of know, and then when you go to some place and then they're like, oh, it's this much, you're like, oh, okay, well I need to lose money here so I can afford that, if that makes sense. The first thing we looked for was a venue. I found that pretty quickly. There were only a few options as far as venues. I think I looked for venues that were like under $2,000, around $1,000, and there were only two that came up, and then this one was like the better looking one. And so we did that. We decided to have our wedding on a Thursday because that dropped the price by like $5,000 or $500. And we were very lucky that Luis's parents decided to gift us that. So thank you to Aurelie and Luis Sr. So yeah, that's what we did with the venue. And then as far as photography, I have a friend who is a professional photographer for weddings, and she offered to do them for a discounted rate. So I paid her $925 to take our pictures for the whole thing, as far as like the ceremony, the reception, our pictures afterwards, whatever, getting ready. For food, I mentioned this before, we went with Andalini's Pizza. So we got a cheese and a pepperoni pizza. We got two different kinds of salads. It was like I don't know, they're just two different salads. Some different dressings. And then we got garlic knots. And then for our total amount of people that said that they were gonna go was 75, including me and Luis. It ended up being probably around 65 that actually showed up, and even though I went to everyone like, you are going, right? Like, can you make this? And everyone confirmed, but whatever. Yeah, so it was $745 for the food, and we did have some left over, mostly just the salads, of course. We didn't need as much salads, of course. No one eats that much salad. And then as far as alcohol, we got a keg of beer from the venue. We did a champagne toast. And then for mine and Luis's tab for the night, totaled to $600. I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow. Which I guess I would have liked to discuss that more. I would have liked to have known how much they thought a champagne toast would be. Then I probably wouldn't have included that, but whatever. That was quite a bit of money. And we were kind of restricted. It's like, of course we want to have alcohol. People like alcohol. We were drinking. We wanted to have fun and everything. And it's like, there's no way we could afford to have an open bar, Yeah, we just didn't want to do an open bar. But that's something to think about, I guess, if you do like a backyard wedding or a like wedding at a rec area or something like that, is that you could probably just bring your own bottles, bring a bunch of cases of beer or whatever, try to make it presented. And I mean, I wouldn't want to have one of my guests be like bartender for the night or something. Like, I feel like that's unfair to that person. They're basically working the whole night when they would probably rather have fun. But, those are all things to think about, I guess. So for my wedding dress, it was $971, and I had to get it altered because I bought it off the rack. So that made it cheaper because it was already tried on. There were like some tears in the back, and like they're like, oh yeah, you can just get that fixed. You can get it altered to fit you, because it was too big for me. And when I went to get it altered, it was $300. And I could have got a dress that I liked just as much, didn't have a big annoying train, and was like nice and lightweight, out the door for $1,200. So that's something to probably keep in mind. Like, I went with this one because I thought it'd be cheaper, and at first I thought I could make the alterations myself because I sew, obviously, but sewing a wedding dress is far more scary, and it's something I didn't want to mess up on because like there's all this embroidery on the seam lines, and I wasn't quite sure how I would handle that, and like I would need special like decal pieces to kind of fit in that, and it's, yeah, it just, and I thought about making a dress, but I just didn't have the time because I was planning all this wedding and I didn't know what style I would want anyways. Yeah, anyways, I spent way more than I wanted to on the dress. There's way better options out there as far as wedding dresses go. I would have wanted to get like a consignment dress. Those are usually a lot cheaper. You know, maybe not even a wedding dress. I don't even know why I got a white wedding dress. That's not even what I wanted to begin with, but it's fine. Yeah, that's what we did. Too much money. And for Luis's tux, so we got it from, I don't remember. I'll put it down here where we got his tuxes from. But he had 5 groomsmen, and because it was the cheapest place in town, is why we went there. And also they had a deal. I think I got this from the Wedding Expo. It was like a coupon that's like rent 5 tuxes and get the 6th one free. So his was free, essentially. So that worked out. The shoes he already had, which was awesome. Yeah. And so we didn't pay anything for Luis's, which is great. So for decorations, which were like the chair ties, the little white pumpkins down the aisleway, the freeze-dried rose petals, the trays I bought from the thrift store, the picture frames, the spray paint, the bird cage, the candles, the candle holders. I got all of that totaled to $407, and which I wish I could have, I have a breakdown. I'm only basing this off of what I inputted from the Knot app. So sorry, I don't have that exact figure of what I paid for everything, but all of the decorations that I bought on my own, not including ones that I already had that were like Halloween decorations, totaled to $407. Bouquet was $80. I had 5 bridesmaids, and their bouquets totaled to $175 for all 5 of them. And then, so for desserts, we got the rock candy and the dummy bears. I put dummy bears in my notes. And the gummy bears, I don't have that, but I'll put that down below. Let's see, the cake was $184 for a 3-tiered cake for 50 people. Always get less cake than what you need because not everyone likes cake. And then our favors, which were the little kisses, Hershey's chocolate kisses, that was $11. I got 2 packages. I think it was like a pound each or something. I don't know. But I just figured I'd get enough to fill up the bowl. And that was $11 I spent on that. I made my own save the dates, which was $83, which you'd think that they wouldn't be that much, but we initially invited 120 people, and obviously you don't need as many invitations. Yeah, like what I did is I made a Excel sheet and I listed everyone in the same household, so I'd know how many invitations I would need, because you only need 1 per household. So if 5 people live in 1 household, you don't need to send 5 invitations to that same address. You only need to send 1, obviously. So I made a list. I don't remember exactly how many I sent, but I bought special paper, and I also got pictures printed from our engagement pictures to put in them, and then these little like corner things to attach the pictures. And that totaled to $83, which is kind of crazy. And then, so for the things we rented, which were the 10 round tablecloths, I think 3 rectangular tablecloths, napkins, plates, forks, cups, the drink dispensers, the arch, the cake stand, that was $430, which again, we went with plates and forks that were rented and reusable because of environmental reasons. Like, I definitely thought about getting paper, plastic stuff, but I didn't want to have that much trash, you know, it's just, and it's ugly. So, I mean, it really wasn't that much more. So that's what we did. We got the photo booth, and that was gifted from Luis's sister. So we didn't have to worry about that. I think we got it for like 3 hours. It wasn't the whole time because, again, that would be crazy expensive. The invitations, so I paid $70 and I got those from Walmart, and I got the cheapest option that I could, but I bought too many. I forgot about the household thing, and I got the total amount for the guests, which was stupid. So I have way more than I ever needed. I bought new underwear, and that was $18. Just wanted fancy underwear, I guess. So I bought those from Victoria's Secret. Probably could have bought them from somewhere else for less. And so to send the invitations and the save the dates, which honestly, I don't think you really need the save the dates. Like, creating an event on Facebook or just announcing it on Facebook, you don't need the save the dates. It was a waste of money. But I paid $51 in stamps to send all of those, which, you know, another thing that you probably wouldn't think to spend money on, but you have to. I paid $33 for my shoes, waste of money, shouldn't have bought them, didn't even really wear them, whatever. For my accessories, I bought a necklace, I got a bracelet and earrings, and I paid $73 for that. So this is the necklace I got at, I think it's the seller down here. And I got these earrings, these little cute heart-shaped barbed wire earrings off of Instagram from Simon Ferocious. I thought they were really cute. She even included a cute little heart necklace. So I recommend that seller. And I got this little bracelet. I bought this from a flea market from this like guy who sells a lot of like Native American jewelry and stuff, and I don't know, I like it. But yeah, that's the jewelry I had. And then I bought thank you cards also from Walmart, and then those were cheaper because I actually got the correct amount. And I paid $40 for those. Then I got a manicure and a pedicure, which I grew my real nails out, which I usually do. This one's broken and sad. And then, so they were just painted professionally, and same, obviously, toenails. But my mom luckily paid for that, so I was grateful that she decided to do that. And then, like I said before, we were lucky to have the DJ be Luis's cousin, which he had like a full DJ set, like does it on the side, so that worked out really great to our benefit, so thank you, Walter, for that. And then my friend Sophie and Peyton, who do hair, they gifted me that service. And then my friend Megan does makeup professionally. She gifted me that service as well. So I was very fortunate to have people in the industry. But yeah, that was everything that I spent money on. I'll put the grand total of everything I spent money on here. So yeah, I hope this is helpful to kind of know the expenses, maybe just someone else's perspective, someone who doesn't have $10,000 to spend money on a wedding. But yeah, that is what I did. Oh, another thing is I sold my wedding dress as soon as the wedding was over because, well, I got it professionally dry cleaned, which was only $30, and I sold it and got $400 back for the wedding. So I would highly recommend that. Like, if you get a really nice wedding dress, sell that shit. Like, I don't know. I'm not, like, I guess sometimes I'll keep things for a long time, but like I still have my stupid homecoming dress. I don't know why I kept that, but like the chances of me having a daughter and the chances of me having a daughter who will fit in my wedding dress, and the chances of me having a daughter who will fit in my wedding dress who would want to wear my old ass wedding dress is pretty slim, you know? Like, and then me moving it from place to place, they get yellow with age, they go out of style. I just figured it would be less wasteful if I just sold it, got rid of it right away. That way the next person can enjoy it and wear a dress that's new, still in style, still looks good, and have that benefit. So I am 1000% happy I did that, because I don't have room to store a wedding dress here, like, but yeah, that's something I would recommend if, you know, you can let go of things like that. I know not everyone can, so I understand, you know, sentimental value with things and people wanting to pass things down and tradition and all that. Like, I totally get it. But if you're not one of those people, at least consider it, you know, like, yeah. But again, you know, this was mine and my husband's situation. You know, we definitely made choices based off of what we could do, what we had, our guests and everything like that. And I honestly think it turned out really well. I'm really happy with the choices we made and everything. So yeah, I hope this inspires someone else. Anyways, that's what I had for today. I have one more wedding video that I like to make. Hopefully it'll happen sooner than later, although this video is being made later than I would have liked. I would have liked to have made it sooner, but life happens. But yeah, I'll have one more wedding video and then make other videos maybe. I don't know. Hopefully you guys like them. Yeah, thanks. Okay, bye.